Hello Virgo, and welcome to your monthly forecast. A quick reminder, you can always use this reading for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Let's begin with your channeled messages. The first thing that I saw in meditation today was a walking shoe, just a single shoe, and it represented taking that first step. And a lot of times we can get in our own headspace worrying about all the potential problems, all the challenges. Sometimes we're even worried about success, and that overthinking can sometimes inhibit what's necessary, which is just taking action. So suffice it to say, the first thing that came through is basically just to take that first step. And what I got after connecting to that was that there would be this momentum or ease with which you could move to the next level. So it's almost as if it's sort of self-perpetuating after you open the floodgates, if you will. A change of scenery could also really help you out in this moment in time. That could be as simple as taking your laptop or your tablet and deciding to work at a library or a cafe. It could also be, moving from one room to another, clearing your space a little bit. Some of you, though, may be taking this more at face value, and you may be on the move. Travel, vacation, or possibly moving from one home or apartment to another. No matter how you look at that energy of changing the environment, I get a beneficial outcome from that. So if you're feeling stuck in one space, it may have more to do with the environment than sort of like your lack of creativity. Change up the scenery, and this is going to open up the creative floodgates. Finally, and again, kind of taking this also at face value, the Fool is about moving your body, particularly walking. And that's one of the most universally welcomed forms of exercise. As with anything, you'll want to listen to your body and work with your doctor, but something like walking can not only benefit your health, but can also help you clear your head because you're outside breathing clean air, you're seeing and talking to people and experiencing new environments, and this can also help you change your perspective, get new ideas, and basically get moving energetically. And that's perhaps the most important piece of exercise is it gets the blood, the endorphins, and the energy moving, which can help you connect to new opportunities in your life as well. All right, Virgo, the next thing that came through is a very Virgo message, which was you don't have to do all of this. Many of you are so good at leading and creating and making things beautiful that it gets piled on you sometimes. And much like the Titan Atlas, who had to hold up the heavens in mythology, you end up with too much on your plate. So I featured two cards that would basically connect with that energy of holding up the weight of the world or the heavens. And that would be the Ten of Wands, which means you're capable, you're close to finishing something, but you're a little tired perhaps, or feeling sort of like, when is it going to get easier? And then the Nine of Swords, which is sometimes worrying about like, well, what will happen if I say no, or if I ask for help, or am I going to be able to do this? By and large, yes, you are going to be fine. Success and movement was all of the stuff that we were just talking about in the first slide. But you don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to do everything for everyone. That's the hardest piece. There is going to be a need for you to delegate and release things from your, basically your tally, your list, your responsibilities this month, okay? Focus on the things that you can control, let go of the things you can't, reach out for support if you need it from friends, from family, and from colleagues, and get some sleep too. There was a reason that I also featured the Nine of Swords here, which is because you're so capable, because there's a lot going on, because I got the energy of movement, rest is key. It's something that I just saw recently in a daily card reading, and I want to repeat that here, which is when you give yourself a chance to rest, a lot of times the stress, the anxiety, all the things that we kind of put in our own head that get in the way, they go away and you start to see the world with a clearer set of eyes, okay? So let's go ahead and give the cards a shuffle now and see what additional messages are coming through, particularly in where you can take those first steps and perhaps what you need or might want to let go of this month, okay? Again, welcome everybody, and just a reminder, this can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Please close your eyes for a second, Virgo, and just focus on the month ahead, letting go of any preconceptions, fears, worries, etc. Let's just let the energy flow through. Thank you. Welcoming in the guides and angels as well to help us navigate all of this. A nice synchronicity there, seeing the Ten of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords at this end, the Ten of Wands there. So moving towards that energy of healing and release. Just zoom out a bit. All right. Also another synchronicity, the environment, a change of environment. Okay, let's get started with your catalyst message first. As I said, we have the environment, and as you can see here, the catalyst is where you want to focus on creating that change or movement. So this is perfectly aligned with the Fool that we talked about earlier. Now, paying special attention to this, look at all the beautiful green energy on here. One of the things I love whenever I'm trying to find a place to work or to live is just to find beautiful trees and nature. I kind of need that in order to feel grounded. I don't do well if there's no windows or no natural light. And so some of you may feel the same way. This can also just be an encouragement for those of us that have to work indoors a lot. Maybe you're in school or a hospital or government building. It's like, get out on your lunch break, spend some time in the morning or in the evening, connect with the energy of plants and nature. That'll help you quite a bit. And then just focus on how you feel when you change your environment. So if you're feeling really burned out, and again, it could be where you're living, where you're working, or even like the people that you're spending time with, this month it's a bit of a wake-up call. And the universe is saying, okay, it's good to know that. What's the next step? What are you going to do to change that energy? Okay? It feels like by the end of the month, you can land in a really optimal environment. So that's a great way to start the reading. At the very least, you know that there's some opportunities for improvement in the environment. All right, let's kind of get these cards all in view here and take a quick look at the overall energetic spread. So we have balance, capping everything off here in the crowning position. That's going to be the focus, is achieving balance. When we look at deep past, near future, and outcome, we see that for some of you, there's a karmic cycle here with relationships that needs to be focused on. And then we see again, not having to hold up the weight of the world here. Very much connected to what I was talking about at the beginning. So lots of synchronicities here. Let's just take it one card at a time, beginning with the centermost card. In the center, you got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Here are the messages that I'm getting for this card. First and foremost, now is the time to speak up basically about whatever it is that you want or need. This is a card in the upright position that might be offering something or moving something forward, but when it's reversed, you're either identifying what's lacking and asking for help, or you're saying, I want to do this, and this is how I want to do this, and basically getting people engaged. You could be investing in yourself. So you might decide that you want to go to school or get some training, and you're moving your resources around for your development and for your betterment. So it's a self-focused card when it's reversed. It's not about moving the money out there. It's about bringing the time, the energy, the money, the resources within. In a relationship, you're communicating what you need in order to feel happy, supported, etc. And if you're lacking something, you can say, this is what I need in order to get to the next level. So communicating what's necessary, reaching for what it is that you want. And then the last thing here is it's a little bit of a gut check, making sure that you're happy about the path that you're on. The Knight of Pentacles is going to get you where you want to go quickly. But if you're going quickly to an outcome that isn't optimal for you, then you're going to have to backtrack, and basically it'll be more work down the road than if you just basically right now said, you know what, I changed my mind, or I want to go here, or I want to do this. So get very clear on what it is that you want and you need, and then communicate that. That's the succinct version of this at the end of the day. Let's take a look at what's crossing that card. We actually get a wish fulfillment card here in the form of the King of Cups, like your heart's desire. And again, you never know until you ask. And if you ask, you might actually get what you want. It makes you happy. This could be a celebratory card for yourself, for a loved one, for a child or relative in your life. There's some good news coming in. You're a part of that. You're connected to that. But this is also about your own creative energy, your own intuitive energy, and your sensitivity. All of that is heightened this month and can actually be very, very advantageous and beneficial if you trust your heart. You need to trust your heart. It's at the center of the spread. It's crossing that Knight of Pentacles. And it's basically saying, is this what you want? That needs to be your litmus test this month. Does it make you happy? Does it bring a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction? If it doesn't, then the universe will ask you a follow-up here, which is, why are you doing this? Or what do you want to do to fix it? So a heart and a gut check, basically, with the two center cards. Some of you may be meeting new friends or new love interests this month. It's a great time if you want to build your business or network to do so with the King of Cups. Basically, when it comes to people, you have the magic touch this month, and you can foster new community, new friendships, new networks if you want to. But definitely for the Virgos out there that want to make new friends or meet new people, we've got it here with the King of Cups, okay? Highly creative though, so for my entrepreneurial Virgos out there, this is a really good indication that you should also put your energy into a creative endeavor. It will pay off. We have a card of discernment coming through here in the deep past. So karmically, some of you are figuring out, do I want to stay or go in a relationship? Three of Cups in the upright position is meeting new people, trying new things, allowing yourself to mix and mingle. In the reverse state, there could be a desire to get more serious. It's sort of like, I need more than this. In a job perspective, it's sort of like, you don't want to be freelance forever. Eventually, you might want to get hired. In a relationship, you may want to take it beyond casual dating to something more committed. And in general, it looks like you're being more discerning about who you're spending time with. This is just having fun, but the reversal of this is saying, I need more than that. I need to know where I stand. Avoid cliques, avoid gossip. Three of Cups in reverse basically shows that that's going to get back to the person that you're talking about. You don't want to be a part of that. If someone doesn't want or invite you into their group and it makes you not feel great, you know what? You're actually being saved time and energy from putting your sort of like yourself in a situation where someone really isn't interested legitimately in what you have to offer. So it hurts initially, it stings, but it's sometimes better to get that rejection than to be part of a group of people that just, aren't the best energetically. So we see clearing and cleaning when it comes to relationships. The best energy is going to sort of rise up and the other stuff is going to fall away. All right. In the recent past, we have the Eight of Swords with an eagle at the top. Eagles, of course, are hunters and they're apex predators, meaning that they can get whatever it is that they want. They're at the top of the food chain. So you have this ability to go beyond a perceived block. Trust your own insights. That's what this Eight of Swords is basically saying. And you can tune out some of the nonsense, the naysayers, the lack of support that you might be getting from others. Normally, this can be interpreted as a card where you're feeling trapped or maybe even paint yourself into a corner. But that's not what I'm getting with this. I'm getting that other people are the ones that are creating these arbitrary lines in the sand, or their lack of trust in you could kind of like be making you feel like, I can't do this. So tune it out and rise above and find your own way, make your own path, trust your heart, trust your instincts. You can do this. It's also not necessarily going to be spelled out for you. So comfort with ambiguity. That's another message in the Eight of Swords. This is where, with either of the two blindfolded cards, whether it's the Two or the Eight of Swords, it's saying it's time to go within. The answer is not written on the wall or written in a textbook. It's here, it's here. You're going to be able to do it. This Eight of Swords shows you how. It's by basically taking flight and trusting in your own vision and in your heart, okay? Those are the messages there. Justice, really, really important. Now, when we connect this to justice, it's saying if something's missing, particularly in a contract, ask. Get it included. Don't assume that it's going to be part of the deal. definitely get a second set of eyes or ears on an important conversation or contract. A legal expert for sure, that's all part of the Justice card. This is also about finding balance in your life. So if you're the one, kind of like Atlas, that holds up, all the sort of support beams for everybody else, this card is saying this month you get to ask for help or lean on others or let go of some of the pressure that you or the people around you put on yourself. This is also a decision-making card, and the decision is yours. It's important for you to speak up and take part in the decision-making process. Don't give that ability to someone else. This is your time to speak up and say, I want this. This is right or this isn't right. What are we going to do about it? Okay? So use your voice, create balance, do the right thing, hold others to do the same. Let's take a look now at the near future here. We have making and breaking cycles, 8 of Cups in reverse. So this is a chance for many of you to go back and finish something that you've started. If there was something that you always wished that you had a chance to say or do, this is the time to do so. If there's a part of your life right now where you feel like, I think I'm done with this cycle, it's a good time to speak up and say just that. Let it go. Cut that string so that you are untethered in the next part of the journey. In a relationship sort of reading, this would also indicate someone that could be kind of like hot and cold. And this is basically, again, tuning in and saying, are you in this for the long haul? Because these two cards aren't really connected to that sort of dependable energy. So for some of you, you're really just trying to get a handle on whether it's a professional relationship, a friendship, or love, just sort of like where you stand, and not sort of such an intermittent on and off energy. So that's an important conversation to have. If we look at the traditional card, the last message is really clear here, and it can just be, it's time to step away, take a break, take a holiday, or just take 5 minutes, because this is going to give you what you need to be able to see the scenery. And I really feel like that's also very present here in the 8 of Swords. If you spend too much time doing the same old, it's difficult to even identify in your heart, much less the environment, what other options exist. Distance gives you clarity. If you take a step away from a job or a relationship and you don't miss it when you come back, that's a telling thing. If you take a break and you're like, oh, now I see what I can do to bring it to the next level, that can also be a very important piece. So if you haven't taken a break in a minute or two, it's time to do so, okay? Let's go ahead and see how you're showing up this month. As we take a look at you, it is time for healing to take place. This is a pretty amazing 10 of Swords because it's showing that often the source of pain or discomfort, it isn't, the body is more symptomatic of it. It's not necessarily the source. We can see here that other people, places, and energies are coming into your sort of energetic sphere and disrupting it. You have a chance to create that rainbow energy at the top, but you're going to have to say no to some things to create better boundaries and to focus on just general health and well-being. This 10 of Swords is really focusing on the heart space, emotional happiness, and mental health. So if there's anything in your life that is impeding with those two things, it's important now to stand up for your own happiness and well-being and say no. And also we're looking at people that put conditions on their love to you, like, why can't you be more like this person? Or I would love you more if you could do this. That is a big old red flag. It's time to step away from that. Love yourself unconditionally. Take care of your health as well. If there's any acute pain or there's anything that's been going on for a while, now is the time to really focus on healing that. We actually see healing hands here. So it's a good time for a massage, for chiropractic work, for Reiki, any type of healing that really focuses on the body. One last thing. We will go to the traditional card here because there's important messages in this. Avoid communication when you are in a place where you're emotionally charged, where you're mentally sort of distracted. We can see all of the sort of external distractions that might be coming in. You really have to be grounded and clear because once you spill those words and that energy, it's hard. You can't put it back in the box. So this is also just about not taking the bait and avoiding unnecessary conflict. We had the answer here in the 8 of Swords, which is just rise above. There is a better way. And often we have to lead by example, okay? Let's see what's going on in your environment here. Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is in reverse. Some of you are going back to school. This is a card of learning, expanding knowledge and experience. And for some of you, there may have been a delay in this because maybe you wanted to start a family, maybe you wanted to travel. Maybe you're just at a point in your life where you said, you've done everything you wanted to on one path and you're like, now I want to learn more about this. So I definitely get a vibe of continuing education, going back to school, or learning something brand new. The other thing that I get with this card is to roll up your sleeves and to basically get to work. This is a card of construction, writing, and creation as well. So in the traditional Eight of Pentacles here, we can see things starting to go into motion here. And again, you're the initiator, you're the creator. Some of you may just it's been a long time since you've been able to exercise your creativity. So these two cards together are about finding a way to make that happen. By the way, the Eight of Pentacles is also a card connected to writing and recording. So it can actually be like recording your voice, putting things into writing, even filmmaking as well. And this could either be for educational or entertainment purposes. So for those of you that are creative and somehow want to record and distribute something, this card is saying, yes, now is the time to do so, okay? Now let's take a look at what's going on in hopes, fears, and opportunities. The key thing here is to find some balance in your life, the Two of Pentacles. This particular Two of Pentacles reminds me a little bit of an hourglass, and it's saying that you don't have time to waste on things that don't move the needle forward, don't bring you closer to what it is that you're trying to do. The traditional Two of Pentacles shows a necessary balance and a necessary choice. So this month, you're really at a point where you have to say yes or no to something. That's why we have a decision-making card here. So clearly, we've gotten it twice from Spirit. It's time to make a decision. Don't expend or sort of extend yourself too far. This is really about making sure that you know your limits and you're not overcommitting in time or in scope, okay? And when it comes to your salary, your budget, your spending, this is about knowing how much you need and, again, what sort of limits you need to put on certain things. Don't accept less than your worth. Definitely we see that with this. Okay, let's go ahead and look at your outcome card. And it is the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands in the reverse state. If we take a look at this beautiful card upright, we can see this bear energy right behind the person, putting their claws on them and basically pushing them forward and saying, we agreed to this, you're gonna do this. A lot of times this represents authority figures in your life, whoever that might be. Sometimes it's the pressure we put on ourselves. Lo and behold, we actually talked about this earlier, and one of the messages I had in channel messages was just to let go. You don't have to do all of this on your own. So sometimes we're just perfectionists. We think to ourselves, I can handle all of this. I'm the best one for it. No one else can do it. It's the last part of that we want to let go of. Sometimes it's more advantageous to let other people step in. Ten of Wands is a card of completion. So allow yourself now to just release something that you may be holding on to. That bear can also be basically holding on to a project, a way of thinking, a way of living longer than they need to, when really the next big door or window of opportunity is knocking and opening up for you. Okay? Let's expand the forecast now to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start with health, which is mind, body, and spirit, and of course, well-being. And we have gratitude as a key to connect to all of those things. It's not always easy to be grateful when there is a challenge or a setback, but sometimes it's there to help us recalibrate and rise above. So for those of you that are experiencing something where you're like, this isn't what I thought I would be going through right now, oftentimes it's to help you look down a different path. And so you could tell the universe, thank you for showing me what doesn't serve me. I don't need it or want it anymore. Help me see what I need to see instead. So now you're admitting that you want more, but you're grateful to know that one path wasn't optimal. That's one way that you can do it. You can also go really basic and really still very powerful and say, thank you today for the breath in my lungs, the blood in my veins, the clarity of my thoughts. It can be because those are profound and important things. So whatever it is to you that you're grateful for in any given day, start with one of those thoughts and then move to maybe a request for clarity. The angels before have shown me the importance of saying thank you or I love you or just expressing gratitude. It opens the heart. The heart is kind of very key to intuition. We see it coming through in almost every single card in this spread. Let's look at them again. We have it in the King of Cups right there. He's got the heart. We have it here in the Eight of Swords. We have it here in the Ten of Swords. And yeah, that's about it, but that's a lot. So your heart is really important to healing, to clarifying, and to moving things forward. All right? Let's look at some other messages here with respect to health. So how powerful is it that we have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands? You don't have to experience this if you don't want to. The 10 of Wands is your choice card. So you don't have to take on more than you need to. If it puts you out of balance, say no. For those of you that have manual or physical labor or you're moving, watch in how you're carrying or lifting things. Emotionally speaking, again, if you continuously carry too much pressure, stress, or tension, it'll find another way to come through your body. And so what we want to really do is alleviate, reduce, and release stress so this doesn't happen. Some of you may be feeling chronic fatigue. This can even be like fibromyalgia, something that could be exacerbated by stress and other activities. So really focus on tuning in, taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, meditating, and again, for those of you that need massage or physical therapy or anything of that nature, that's priority number one. Get those healing hands and really find a way to take care of yourself, okay? So now let's look at some of the other cards here. Justice can be balance. We see the scales of balance, but it can be inner ear balance. So if you're feeling any sort of vertigo or balance issues, obviously focus on that, work with your doctor. Making and breaking cycles, anything that you decide to change this month, we see a happy outcome and an ability to create better balance. Don't overdo it when it comes to celebration. Don't overdo it when it comes to new things like exercise because you could pull or strain a muscle. So everything in moderation. Make sure that you feel that sense of balance and grounding in everything that you're doing. Eyes and ears, if it's been a while since you've had either checked out, time to do that as well. And that's pretty much everything here. So let me see, environment. Oh yeah, Eight of Pentacles can be prescriptions. So for some of you, there may be too many or there may be an interaction between two different drugs or a diet and a prescription. So if you have anything like that, make sure you're telling your different doctors what you're taking so that things don't go sort of like counter to one another. Okay, that's everything there. Let's go ahead now and move from health to wealth. In the area of wealth, we have focus your mind. And I talked earlier about the importance of changing the environment if you feel a lack of focus or clarity. The card itself says, thank you, angels, for helping me focus my priorities. So we get one more element here to add to the mix, which is, do you have a to-do list, a priority list? If not, it's a great thing to help you clarify what's important and what's not. Let's now look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through for three different categories: those that are working, those that are seeking employment, and then I look at students and retirees. All right, let's begin with the opportunities because it's more fun to look at that than I'll look at the challenges. Opportunities that are knocking right now when it comes to work. Some of you are already going back to school or getting some training. This card is validating that. It's also reminding you to look into educational compensation in some of the companies that you might be working at. Look at the fine print. Usually there's an agreement that you have to stay a certain amount of time if they pay for a degree or a class. So just be prepared for that. But if you're going to stay anyway, this card is saying, why not tap into that perk? Because it's going to help you possibly get ahead at the job. And then it also sets you up for success if you decide to go elsewhere down the line. So definitely education as a perk, as an opportunity coming through. What else is going on? Some of you might also be able to, you have a second chance to excel at something that you didn't do before. So if you were passed over for a promotion, a project, or an opportunity, the Eight of Cups represents a chance for that wish to be fulfilled this time around. But we do see this person reaching up for that star or that rainbow. So you may have to express interest in it. This time you have a better chance of being chosen. There may be travel involved with this though. We have a couple of cards here with travel, the Eight of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. So because I talked about this being a vacation, it can also be a sabbatical or temporarily relocating. This card typically has that sort of the distance component to it. So make sure that you're okay with that. And if so, then that also could be a way to get advancement or further ahead. Let's see what else we need to focus on as an opportunity. For some of you, there is celebration. We see this can actually be a party or some good news. This can be people paying attention to you, really seeing your creative ability. And just a reminder here for those of you that work in finance or you're an MBA or something like that, we're not looking at just creative, sort of like artistic ability. We're looking at creative thinking. So maybe there's this really innovative way to solve a budget issue, to get past a block that no one else can. You're that eagle flying above a bunch of other people in the Eight of Swords moment. So show your ability to basically take something to the next level. We have to look at some of the challenges, as I promised here. Stress, most definitely with the Ten of Swords here. Some of you already have too much on your plate. It's important here with the Two of Pentacles and the Justice card to get that off your plate before it exacerbates into stress that creates an argument or a health issue, things of that nature. With the Ten of Wands even reversed in the outcome, it's basically saying you can do everything you set your mind to, but at what cost? So for those of you that are working 2 jobs or doing the work of 2 or 3 people without getting paid that, there's diminishing returns at a certain point. So find where you can get the most return on your energy and put the attention there. And if you're not getting what you deserve, it is time to possibly move into the next category that I'll be looking at, which is seeking employment. The first message I have for job seekers is to lean into your existing vocational, internship, and educational networks. The Eight of Pentacles would be connected to all of those. So this is the time to call up an alumni association. Again, if you worked at a company as an intern when you were in college and now you're job seeking after graduation, lean into that and say, hey, remember me? And see if you can't make some traction there. Some of you are also just considering either like social justice or law or something of that nature, and that message is coming through just as validation for those of you that want to do that path. Some of you just are seeking better balance in your life, saying that perhaps it's not all about the budget. You need less stress, you need more creative ability, or I should say freedom. And so you're making a choice. You're going to give up something so that you can explore something else. So make sure you are tuning into your heart this time around as you're job seeking. I really would encourage you to go back and try not only like the old vocational and educational networks, but if you tried something and it didn't work before, you're coming through with more experience now. It's worth a second chance or a second shot at that. So if it's been a few months or a few years since you've explored a job opportunity, see what's going on there. Now you may have more luck this time. This is an entrepreneurial and a creative card. And some of you are just sick of the stress of working for others. And this is saying, okay, if you're ready and this is what your heart says, go for it. Just make sure the finances follow, because there could be a sort of a necessary cost of entry here where you might need to get a loan or get a partnership in place so that you can launch this successfully. Let me see if there's anything else. It's not the obvious path this time, and it may not be something that you've done before. So back to the beginning when I was talking about engaging with that energy of the Fool. This is a chance where you're not just rinsing and repeating. So give yourself the room to explore something completely different. You don't have to go after the same job, the same industry, or even do it in the same city. Maybe it's time to shake things up a little bit, okay? I do have a contractual card here, so you definitely could get a job option or opportunity this month. Vet out what's expected and what kind of culture it has, because the Ten of Swords shows a lot of stress and the Ten of Wands shows a lot of responsibility. If that's the case, you deserve more than the Eight of Pentacles. You should be getting the Wheel of Fortune, or at least the Ten of Pentacles here, to balance it out. Something is imbalanced in the offer. So drive a hard bargain this month for sure. Okay, For those that are students, here's what I see. I mentioned the importance of internships. If you're not working one right now, you should be trying to line one up for the fall or the spring. Make sure that you're getting that in motion here. Generally speaking, it looks like you're okay, except just a little burned out. Will you be able to finish what you've started? Yes. But I see a lot of wear and tear on your energy, on your body. So it's important for you to take a break. Some of you might need to take a semester to do something else. And again, it could be a semester abroad, it could be an internship, a fellowship, or a break in order for you to finish this without sort of having that full burnout that we see here. Don't underestimate the importance of student life. Three of Cups is in reverse, sometimes you pulling back too much from the social endeavors. Everything in balance. We don't want you overworking. We don't want you partying too hard. Somewhere in the middle is what's really important here. Okay? For retirees, the Eight of Swords is what I'm focusing on, which is this feeling of like, where do I belong? Or do people see me and appreciate me? Some of you might decide to learn something brand new, and it does not have to have any practical outcome. It can simply be because it brings joy into your life. It could be art, it could be dance, it could be music. It could be something more practical. You may decide also to teach or mentor, but we have an educational piece coming in and a growth piece. We continue to learn at every stage of the journey. This is a card of traveling. This is a card of traveling. But the resources could limit how long or how far you're traveling, but I definitely get that as well. Let me see if there's anything else. Just finding more balance in your life and focusing on whatever it is that creates that sense of balance. Let's move on to love and relationships. Wow, we have a really powerful card, and surprise, surprise, we have another message around the heart. Stargate Heart. Heart chakra opening, unlocking, and generosity. What a powerful message to come through in the energy of love, because we're looking at that. We have a Merkaba at the center as well, which is higher love, but unlocking and generosity. So being generous to yourself, allowing for people to be generous to you, saying thank you, knowing that you are deserving of that. That's all part of this message. Let's break it down into three categories. Those in a relationship looking for love or happily single. In current relationships, here's what I see. If you're not already married, what we have with the Three of Cups and the Eight of Cups is this decision, like I said earlier. Is this something that's going to go the distance? Or is it something where one or both of you are just kind of like teetering here a little bit, saying, I'm not sure what I want next. So message number one is clarity. It's going to help you. It's going to help your partner. What do you want? So for those in a long-term relationship without commitment, maybe that's what you're seeking. If you're already committed, here's what I see. There could be some health challenges for one or both of you. There definitely is some stress and just sort of like load balancing, like when it comes to job and money and responsibilities. We see both of you heavily charged and bearing a lot of that burden. There's only so much you can do. You may be at a point where you might need to hire some help, for instance, whether it's in, taking care of the property that you own or taking care of your kids, or maybe it's time to get some help when it comes to the stress management, couples counseling. I just see a third party coming in to try to help you with that and helping you achieve the balance, even if you're just talking to a friend. That's one thing that I see. This Three of Cups in the deep past could also be someone from the past that's coming back and trying to interject themselves. Friend, family, former love interest, and they could be a source of an argument or a sore spot. Just be communicative to them and to the partner. Know your boundaries, and I think as long as you follow through on that, you'll be all right. Justice. I'm actually getting estate planning. It's important to think about long-term plans together, making sure that you're not leaving one another in a place where you're asking questions. What do I do when something happens? So planning for how you want your health to be maintained in the future, who you want things to go to, just general will, trust, and estate management. In a loving relationship, it's really important. Talk about the finances, talk about the future. And for some of you, this is about saying, I love you and I'm committed, because this could be signing a marriage certificate. Overall, I think you have the capacity to exit through a challenge with this sort of like dignity and grace, but there are some challenges this month. Communication is key. We do have swords, but I would love to have more of like, a queen or king of swords. And instead we have like the representation of the relationship, a very kind and giving person, someone who's really focused on themselves right now. So we need to find a balance between give and take. For those of you looking for love, we have a really strong water sign coming through. So this is someone who's ready to give, but some of you are still in a place where you need to take care of yourself. So make sure that you've done the internal healing that you need to. Make sure that you have enough free time, and make sure that you've healed up other aspects of your life, including your finances. I think it's a challenging point right now for some of you to put in a relationship in the mix. But I do think as the month progresses, it'll be easier. So at the beginning of the month, focus on health, finances, and personal development. The latter part of the month, you can look at things like relationship, and it looks like there could be a wonderful water sign coming through to help out with that. How would you meet them? Probably work, school, or extracurricular activities. This person also has a distance component to them. Not necessarily someone that you already know. They could be coming from afar. At least a different city, state, or province. Okay? There's also a Libra in the mix here. So there are some choices for those that are seeking love. For those that are happily single, here's what I see for you. Basically, now is a chance for you to really focus on achievement when it comes to job, but for many of you, it's just balance. Finding a balance in health, balancing out your finances, and basically taking a break, a much needed break, whether it's, just some time off or a vacation. I really feel like that's the focus, is some time on your own, focusing on your own well-being. And we do see a progression from 10 of Swords to 10 of Wands, which is optimal. Saying goodbye to this, whatever is it that was causing stress, and really moving on to something better. Let's look at your destiny message. This is really cool. We have the ring coming through. So some of you are, as I said, signing a contract. It could be in love. It could be in career. There is a promise. There is a sort of commitment that comes through with this. So I like that. The ring also represents your own cyclical energy, because the ring goes around the finger. So for many of you, something's coming around again, and you're being asked how committed you are to it. Again, this could just be a job or an activity, but it could also it could be a person. Is this what I signed up for? So the ring is basically coming through, and it's a checkpoint. Is this what you still want? And you get to decide. Let's go ahead now and expand this to look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages. And let's do that now and see what Spirit has to say. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, for the sun sign, we have the Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of healing, growth, and recovery. And it is a bountiful card too. What can happen sometimes in the Seven of Pentacles when it's reversed is there can be a tendency to overstretch, over-deliver, over-promise, or have too many things going on at once. We have all these unicorns flying through the sky. Again, with the heart, it's really important for you to follow your heart, your gut, and not overdo it. And know that things don't change overnight. So when it comes to healing and growth, no shortcuts. Give yourself the time it takes for things to be done right the first time. And again, when it comes to healing, it is something that you get to decide how long, how far you're going to go on any given path before you feel like, okay, I'm good. And in finances, it takes a while to get into a situation. It's going to take a while to get out of it. So don't rush, don't overextend. And if you do that, we see growth and abundance coming through. In fact, in the environment, we already see the Eight of Pentacles. So it feels like you're pretty close. You're closer than you might think to that. Okay, let's move on to rising sign. Three of Wands in reverse. It could happen faster than you think. Typically, this is a card where a person's looking out at the horizon. They see their ships coming through. This card, we actually see something that kind of looks like wheat, and it's almost like now is the time to reap the rewards. But there is a matter here of just saying, all right, let's do it. Let me go for it. If you're willing to meet opportunity halfway there, that can speed things up. If you're willing to look in a different direction or accept something in a different shape or form, that can also help. It's easier or closer than you think. That's the big takeaway here. So Be willing to keep an open heart and an open mind, and to dispel any ideas, any sort of thoughts where it's like, well, this isn't happening. When will this happen? Right here, right now, if you're ready, okay? This is also a card that shows that if you're willing to travel, that could also open up an opportunity. So if there's an interview or a face-to-face meeting, this can make something happen a little bit faster. Looking at moon sign messages, King of Wands, one of the ultimate boss cards. So when it comes to organizing things, creating things, don't underestimate your ability. Stand up for what matters most to you. And it's a very entrepreneurial card. So if you want to start something, launch something new, this is the time to do so. This is also about putting basically a very clear line in the sand and saying yes or no and sticking to it. Basically showing through your actions, not just your words, how committed and how capable you are of doing something. Let's take a look now at the final card for today. So if there's a question that I haven't answered yet, formulate that in your head. Let's shuffle the cards and see what the answer is. Ooh, one of the best cards I could pull for any question. Six of Wands, it's a yes. So if you asked a yes or no, it's a yes. If you want to know, can you do it? This is a card of success. And gosh, there's so many hearts in this deck. The main thing this month, again, the success should be for you, not for others. Does it make you happy? It's also just the subjectivity of success. It's a very subjective thing. For you and for someone else, you could term success very differently or define it very differently. So there's no question this month behind this sort of like, can you do it? Yes, you can do it. Will you land on your feet? Ultimately, yes. But the important thing here is, does this feel good for you? Do it because it makes you feel good. And the more you love it, the more you're behind it, the more success that will come your way. Get out there, mix and mingle, and really allow yourself to be seen. This Six of Wands is also connecting to the star energy. So I see you landing in a very good place towards the end of this month. The whole journey is worth it through the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands, all that other sort of challenging stuff. We see it coming to a really nice place at the end of the day here. This is also really good for those of you that are trying to make headway with respect to either schoolwork or a project. We see a successful outcome there. That brings this reading to a close. So before we wrap up, do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on social media, it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. Remember, I don't offer private readings, nor do I reach out with direct messages. If you see anyone doing so, please block and report. If you'd like to give back, you can do that through super stickers, super chat, and memberships. Thank you to everybody that's done that. It helps me produce new things like my podcast. And I just want to end with gratitude. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wish you the best, and I'll see you soon.